I've got a question, which might sound absurd, but I want you to carefully weigh every word. What do you think when you hear nativity? Is there an image that appears in your head easily?
Because I'm wondering where your mind has gone and what aspect you choose to focus on. Is it Mary or Joseph or perhaps the baby? Has your mind gone to the donkey maybe?
If there's a more famous story, I can't say I know it. You all know the beats and you think you've outgrown it. But tonight we're looking at some bit players as we try to peel back the story's layers.
Now, there's two sets of groups we've heard about. The second had some intellectual clout. Relying on star charts to advise them, this group are usually known as the wise men.
Were they chasing a comet or a star in the sky that led them to that baby's cry? Did they deduce the location and what it could mean by reading Numbers 24:17?
We'll have to find out another time because they are not the point of this rhyme. Because no disrespect to our Magi friends, but that's not the way this story bends. The shepherds are the ones that have caught my attention, as they often go by with barely a mention. Now for once, put aside the image in your head of the cute little shepherds around the Saviour's bed.
Because I hope you understand what I mean when I say working outdoors is anything but clean. Now it's true to say they wore dirt like it's a virtue, and if it's not too taboo, they were smelling of hopelessness.
Because I know what it's like when you're not living the dream and how work like this knocks your self-esteem.
See, what society needs most, it values the least. The poor get the crumbs while the rich get the feast. But with dirt under their nails and thick calloused hands, these men spent their days forever working the lands.
But here's one detail in which I delighted. The Magi were welcomed, but the shepherds were invited.
Now, what can we infer from this? Could we take it as some divine promise? I think he did it for the message it sends. That your status is not on what your salvation depends.
Like he doesn't seem to mind where your life has been, and he's not put off by the hardships you've seen. If your past is the worst, then the worst has passed, because the last shall be first, and the first shall be last.
If you take anything from my words, let it be just this. Our God is a God of perfect justice. And while he's above class or political leaning, I feel this gesture has a clear meaning. It says if you're fighting for a place to stand, a decent job or a helping hand, if you're struggling to be free, what you did for these, you did for me.
Now, you might say that's a lot to get from an invite. You might say I'm reaching, and who knows, I might. But there's one thing I'll say, and you know it's true. It fits with everything Jesus chose to do.
Like the lengths he'd go to retrieve the lost. They all knew the goal, but they didn't know the cost. I think Mary knew, as she held their newborn son, that this child came for all of us, each and every one.